Xin chào các bạn. Trong bài này chúng ta tiếp tục học những ngôn ngữ cần thiết dùng để giới thiệu sản phẩm mới. Kate McKenna vẫn còn đang ở Mỹ giới thiệu sản phẩm Big Boss với các hãng tiêu thụ. Trong khi đó thì ở trụ sở của Bailey Systems, London, Derek Jones đến gặp Clive Harris. Để giúp các bạn theo dõi câu chuyện của họ được dễ dàng hơn, xin các bạn ghi nhớ những từ và nhóm từ quan trọng sau đây. Emotions, cảm giác, tình cảm. Gestures, động tác biểu cảm. Ingenious, khéo léo hoặc là tài tình. Adaptable, có thể thích nghi được với hoàn cảnh, với môi trường. Upmarket, sản phẩm bán cho những người có tiền.
Emotions, feelings. Gestures, movements of your hands that express your feelings. Ingenious, very clever. Adaptable, able to change to fit new situations. Upmarket, something that is sold to people who have a lot of money.
Derek muốn trình bày với Clive một ý kiến quan trọng về sản phẩm Big Boss. Ông đã nghĩ ra một thiết kế mới cho Big Boss. Ông gọi tên là Big Boss Mark II. Nhưng Clive nói rằng Big Boss Mark II trông không khác gì Big Boss Mark I. Derek nói rằng sự khác nhau là ở chỗ Big Boss Mark II có thể biểu cảm được. Chúng ta hãy theo dõi ý tưởng của Derek. Các bạn chú ý những thông tin sau đây.
When would Big Boss Mark II look happy or sad? What would you have to do?
Derek, I've got 15 minutes, that's all. I have a meeting with the accountant. I would just like you to take a look. It won't take long. It's a development of Big Boss. It's Big Boss Mark II.
It looks a bit like Big Boss.
But it has emotions. It can cry, it can laugh, not just make the noise. Every doll on the market can do that. No, Mark II can actually make the movements and the gestures. It is programmed to look happy, sad, angry, or tired at the touch of a button, or even by voice control.
Derek, I can see you've done a lot of work on this. It does look ingenious. How long has it taken you?
Months.
Xin các bạn trả lời hai câu hỏi. When would Big Boss Mark II look happy or sad? And what would you have to do?
Big Boss Mark II is programmed to look happy, sad, angry, or tired at the touch of a button. All you have to do is touch a button or a switch.
Có một cách khác dùng để thay đổi trạng thái tình cảm của Big Boss là sử dụng bộ phận điều khiển tiếng nói. Voice control. Voice activated. Xin mời các bạn xem lại và phát hiện ra ý kiến của Clive Harris về sản phẩm này.
What does Clive think might be the main problem with the idea?
It is programmed to look happy, sad, angry, or tired at the touch of a button, or even by voice control.
Derek, I can see you've done a lot of work on this. It does look ingenious. How long has it taken you?
Months. I think it's a real breakthrough.
How difficult will it be to manufacture?
We have new materials here. Have you seen the new treated plastics? They are very flexible. They are much more adaptable than the Big Boss material. And we have the technology. Take a look at these basic designs. I'll show you what I mean.
It will cost a fortune to develop. It will cost 3 times as much as Big Boss.
Not that much. It is an expensive product, but Big Boss is selling upmarket.
Let's see what Don and Kate say. But I think it will cost too much.
Clive cho rằng giá thành để sản xuất Big Boss Mark II sẽ rất cao. Ông ta nói, "It will cost a fortune to develop." Hiện nay Kate đang ở Atlanta. Cô sắp đi đến đoạn cuối của cuộc hội thảo giới thiệu Big Boss. Các bạn hãy chú ý xem cô ta nói gì về chiến dịch quảng cáo bằng vô tuyến truyền hình. What does she say about the television campaign?
To conclude the presentation, we have seen that Big Boss can succeed in the American market. We have a product that can give the user more than anything else on the market. There is nothing that can touch it. Our competitors cannot deliver the technology. They cannot match our price, and they can't compete with our television campaign. Big Boss is going to be coast to coast at peak hours every day in the new year. And how much are we spending on this campaign? Well, let's have a look at the individual territories.
What does Kate say about the television campaign?
She said, Big Boss is going to be coast to coast at peak hours every day in the new year.
Ở đây Kate muốn nói Bibury Systems sẽ quảng cáo cho Big Boss hàng ngày trên truyền hình Mỹ ở khắp mọi bang. Kate nói rằng Big Boss sẽ được quảng cáo từ bờ biển Đông sang bờ biển Tây vào những giờ người Mỹ hay xem truyền hình nhất.
Big Boss is going to be coast to coast at peak hours every day in the new year.
Chúng ta hãy trở lại London. Don Bradley đang nói chuyện với Phil Watson về phương thức quảng cáo cho Big Boss. Các bạn nghe và ghi lại 2 thông tin chính sau đây.
How many photographs of Big Boss will there be on the display? And when does Don want everything to be ready?
This is the wording which I agreed with Edward.
Fine. It's very clear. And I think these colors work very well.
We'll have 3 different photographs of the boss on the display.
Yes, I like these 2 stills, but I'm not sure about that one.
There are plenty of options. Have a look at these contact sheets.
How soon will this be camera ready?
By next Tuesday.
I really need this for tomorrow.
Tomorrow? That's difficult.
Question: How many photographs of Big Boss will there be on the display?
Phil Watson says that there will be 3 different photographs of Big Boss on the display.
Don chỉ ưa có 2 ảnh mà thôi. Don dùng từ stills. stills. Phil nói rằng còn một số ảnh nữa có thể chọn được. Phil nói, have a look at these contact sheets. Have a look at these contact sheets. Phil dùng từ contact sheets, nghĩa là một loạt ảnh nhỏ rửa ra từ một phim. Theo Phil Watson, việc này phải đến thứ 3 tuần sau mới có thể hoàn thành được. Nhưng mà... Question. When does Dawn want everything to be ready? Dawn wants everything by tomorrow. Everything ở đây, Dawn muốn nói đến Camera Ready Copy, viết tắt là CRC, nghĩa là bản thảo hoàn chỉnh để từ đó có thể chụp, in ra hàng loạt được. Thưa các bạn, thời hạn Dawn đưa ra quá gấp. Tuy không vui nhưng Phil cũng phải chấp nhận. Anh ta nói, It'll be ready for tomorrow.
How soon will this be camera ready?
By next Tuesday.
I really need this for tomorrow.
Tomorrow? That's difficult.
How difficult?
It'll be ready for tomorrow.
Bây giờ xin mời các bạn xem lại một phần câu chuyện ngày hôm nay.
They cannot match our price, and they can't compete with our television campaign. Big Boss is going to be coast to coast at peak hours every day in the new year. And how much are we spending on this campaign? Well, let's have a look at the individual territories.
This is the wording which I agreed with Edward.
Fine. It's very clear. And I think these colors work very well.
We'll have 3 different photographs of the boss on the display.
Yes, I like these 2 stills, but I'm not sure about that one.
There are plenty of options. Have a look at these contact sheets.
How soon will this be camera ready?
By next Tuesday.
I really need this for tomorrow.
Tomorrow? That's difficult.
How difficult?
It'll be ready for tomorrow.
Xin mời các bạn làm bài tập. Các bạn đã biết Phil Watson đang thiết kế một sản phẩm mẫu về Big Boss. Chúng ta đã nắm được thông tin qua câu chuyện giữa Don Bradley và Phil Watson. Vậy, trong 6 câu sau đây, câu nào đúng và câu nào không đúng? 1. Phil hasn't finished the designs yet. 2. Don thinks the wording is clear. 3. Don doesn't think the colors are good. 4. Don isn't sure about any of the photographs. 5. Don wants camera ready copy by tomorrow. 6. Phil says it is impossible to have everything ready by tomorrow. Chúng tôi xin cho đáp án. Câu 1, true. Câu 2, true. Câu 3, false. Câu 4, false. Câu 5, true. Câu 6, false. Chúng ta hãy cùng nhau ôn lại nội dung bài. Chúng tôi cho lên hình 6 câu. Những câu này hoặc nói về công nghệ chế tạo, tức là manufacturing technology, hoặc nói về phiên bản quảng cáo, advertising copy. Các bạn hãy xác định câu nào nói về cái gì. Trong bài này, A. Nói về công nghệ chế tạo, manufacturing technology. B. Nói về phiên bản quảng cáo, advertising copy. Xin mời các bạn làm bài tập. 1. I like these two stills. 2. These colors work very well. 3. Have you seen the new treated plastics? 4. The materials are very flexible. 5. How soon will this be camera ready? 6. This is the wording I agreed with Edward. 7. The materials are much more adaptable. Chúng tôi xin cho đáp án. Câu 1, B. Câu 2, B. Câu 3, A. Câu 4, A. Câu 5, B. Câu 6, B. Câu 7, A. Thưa các bạn, chúng ta hãy chúc mừng Kate McKenna đã giới thiệu thành công Big Boss trên thị trường Mỹ. Và cũng thấy một điều là Bibury Systems đang chuẩn bị giáo diết cho ngày tung Big Boss ra thị trường. Derek đưa ra một giải pháp táo bạo là phát triển Big Boss lên thành một sản phẩm có thể biểu cảm được. Derek đã thiết kế Big Boss Mark II. Bibury Systems có chấp nhận giải pháp này hay không? Chúng ta còn phải chờ đợi. Nhưng bây giờ hãy tạm chia tay Bibury Systems. Hẹn gặp lại kỳ sau. Until next time, goodbye. Xin chào các bạn. Hôm nay đội làm phim tiếng Anh thương mại của chúng tôi được vinh dự đến hội thảo về quản lý đất phèn, sulfate acid soil. Đây là một cơ hội rất tốt để chúng tôi giới thiệu với các bạn một loại hình tiếng Anh mà trong giới dạy tiếng gọi là EAP, English for Academic Purposes. Đó là tiếng Anh dùng cho các mục tiêu học thuật. Đây là loại hình đào tạo giúp cho người học hình thành năng lực nghe hiểu và ghi nhận những thông tin quan trọng qua các bài giảng trên giảng đường, lectures, hoặc là những báo cáo khoa học trong các hội nghị khoa học hoặc trong các hội thảo khoa học. Bây giờ xin mời các bạn vào dự hội thảo cùng với chúng tôi và các bạn sẽ được nghe trọn vẹn bản báo cáo của ông Karen. Đây là bản báo cáo về nghiên cứu xây dựng những hệ thống tưới tiêu, drainage systems. Xin mời các bạn theo dõi.
The project document was signed on 2nd June 1989. With the scientific contribution of these drainage systems were tested on 4 main classifications of acid sulfide soils.
So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chairman, and participants. I'd like to present the second presentation about the technical results of our project Vietnam 86-001, executed by FAO and sponsored by UNDP and implemented by the Director Water Resources Service and by the Agriculture Extension Service of Tay Binh Province and by the Institute of Water Resources of Hanoi. Before discussing the different drainage systems that we use in our project, I would like to present to you the way the deep drainage system works in our project. In the beginning, when there is a new acid sulfate soil formed, the acid sulfate soil is a potential acid sulfate soil. And the potential acid sulfate soil is characterized by the mineral pyrite. growing rice on this kind of soil, there are not so many problems. And this soil is not yet acid. And the soil is always wet. You can see that the water level is very high. When this land is being drained because of canals, then this soil will become an actual acid sulfate soil. It will become very acid. Because when there are canals, the water level will fall to here, and all the pyrite present in the soil will oxidize by oxygen, and it will form the jarosite, the mineral jarosite, which has a yellow color. This soil is very acid, and it is therefore very easy to recognize the actual acid sulfate soil in the fields by the yellow color. So, when the soil has become acid, usually the rice yields are very low. The yield of the thuong crop sometimes fails, and the yield of the summer crop is very low. And it is impossible to grow upland crop during the winter. The problems of the soil are mainly toxicity by aluminum, neon, by iron, sap, and by H2S, HAC-S. So when we want to improve the actual acid sulfate soil, and even we want to improve the potential acid sulfate soil, we can choose several options. The first way and the easiest way is to apply a lot of lime. And in this way we can neutralize all the acidity in the soil, and we can improve the soil. However, the lime is very expensive, and the farmers cannot afford to buy all the lime to improve this soil. So a much more suitable method to do is to improve the drainage on this soil. And by improving the drainage, we can leach out all the aluminum and the iron and the HAC-S from the soil. So when we improve the drainage, we can apply the deep drainage system. When we apply the deep drainage system, we lower the groundwater level even lower. And we do this by pumping out the water using a pumping station. When we pump out the water, all the acidity will be leached out from the soil. However, we should be very careful when we do the deep drainage of this soil, because if we lower the groundwater level by deep drainage, this pyrite here can also oxidize, and the soil will become more acid. The yield of the farmers will become even lower, and a lot of acidity will flow into the canals and the rivers, and it will be very bad for the fish and for the general environment of the Red River Delta. That's why in our project we do the deep drainage, but only for a period of 6 days. After that, we pump in the water by irrigation, and we maintain the water level just below the soil surface. This way, pyrite can no more oxidize. So, during the winter spring crop and the summer crop, we always keep the soil submerged. Only when we apply deep drainage, we will drain out the water for 6 days. When we apply the deep drainage system, after some years, this soil will become a moderate acid sulfate soil. And maybe after 5 more years or 10 more years, we don't know yet, this soil will become a good soil, a normal soil. Here I want to explain a little bit more about the deep drainage system. We have the rainy season from April to October, and the dry season. So, before we apply the deep drainage system, the farmers can grow only 2 crops, one winter spring crop and one summer crop. And the yield is usually quite low. we have a problem of waterlogging during the summer crop. And we also have a problem of bad drainage in this period. The concentration of aluminum and iron in the soil is very high at the end of the winter. Because during the winter season, the acidity is coming up to the soil surface by the capillary rise. Then, after the irrigation of the winter spring crop, the concentration of iron and aluminum becomes less. We also have toxicity by HAC-S at the end of the winter spring crop and during the summer crop. And the HAC-S toxicity is caused when you keep the soil submerged for a long time, when you keep the water on the soil for a long time. The aluminum and the iron affect the growth of the plant, the vegetative development of the plant. The HAC-S affects the fertility of the plant, the percentage of empty grains. So when we apply the deep drainage system, we will drain the soil for 6 days at the beginning of the winter spring crop. When we drain the soil for 6 days, the concentration of iron and aluminum will go down. After some weeks, the concentration of aluminum and iron increase again, and we have to deep drain the soil again. Concentration of iron and aluminum will go down. Depending on the soil and depending on the condition, we have to do 2 more periods of deep drainage during the winter spring crop. Then, during the summer crop, we also have 1 period of deep drainage. This deep drainage is not to decrease aluminum or iron, but we do the deep drainage to prevent toxicity by H2S. We will make the soil dry for a period of 6 days, which will oxidize the soil and prevent toxicity by H2S. At the end of the summer crop, we will do deep drainage 1 more time. And this time we try to make the soil as dry as possible so we can cultivate an upland crop. If we don't do this deep drainage, the soil will be very wet and it's difficult for the farmer to make the ridge to grow maize or soybean. So in our project, after the introduction of deep drainage, we can grow a winter spring crop, a summer rice crop, and we grow maize and soybean as an upland crop. And the yields increase very strongly of the rice. And the upland crop, we have the yield of 3.2 tons of maize. So I will now summarize very shortly the results of the research program. So the best yield was obtained in the area with the clay pipes and with the mold drain. And the yield on the open silt drain, fasting drain and sandy branches were lower. So we can say that technically clay pipes and mold drains are most suitable systems. However, we should also look at the economical point of view. The open field drains are very cheap, the cheapest system. Mold drains are more expensive. Fasting drains are more expensive. Sandy drains more expensive. Clay pipes are very, very expensive. We hope that after our presentation, there will be more areas in the Red River Delta which will apply the deep drainage. And during this afternoon, some representatives from districts in the Red River Delta will inform us about the problem of acid sulfate soil and waterlogged soil in their district. After that, we can discuss about the actual implementation of the deep drainage in their district. Then I would like also to draw your attention, during the lunch break there will be a video made at the project site about the deep drainage. You can see at the entrance of our hotel. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I think now I give the word back to the chairman. Thank you.
Thưa các bạn, chắc bây giờ các bạn đã ghi lại được ý đồ nghiên cứu về hệ thống thoát nước này. Nhà nghiên cứu đã đề cập đến hai hệ thống. Một là Surface Drainage Using Open Field. Đó là hệ thống thoát nước lộ thiên hay còn gọi là hệ thống kênh hở, tận dụng điều kiện thuận lợi của thiên nhiên. Hai là Deep Drainage System. Đây là hệ thống thoát nước xây dựng ngầm sâu dưới nước, còn gọi là hệ thống tiêu ngầm. Thưa các bạn, giá như có thời gian để chúng ta có thể thảo luận vấn đề này một cách chi tiết và bằng tiếng Anh thì cũng là điều thú vị. Nhưng bây giờ đã hết giờ học. Xin tạm biệt các bạn. Goodbye for now.